The sky is falling!
Loves asked for that personally, and I don't blame him. But it's not really. But for the first time since mid-October, the Stars have lost consecutive games in regulation. Back then, they lost 3 in a row. Find out on Monday night when they play the LA Kings, but tough one. We'll talk about it, break it down. We'll take all your super chats. We'll even check in with Sam over at the AAC. And this is the Dallas Stars postgame show here on DLLS. Let's go. Bang. This is the DLLS Stars postgame show after the Stars lost 4-0 tonight to the Florida Panthers at American Airlines Center alongside Craig Ludwig and our producer, Big Fudge or Chocolate Thunder, Ryan Waters. That may be the best thing we've heard all night. I'm Owen Newkirk. Thanks for joining us. We'll check in with Sam Nestler from the AAC a little bit later. Before we break everything down tonight, let's talk about that new DLLS hat collection, and it's a sharp-looking group. They added these 4 to the first one that came out, which was the DLS Cowboys colors, the football one. But now we have a Mavs and Stars right up front, plus the DLS flag and the crest, which is over on the far left of your screen. Very good-looking hats. You can get them right now. Limited quantities on alldlls.com. Do not delay, because Luds is going to figure out how to use the ordering employee code at some point, and then he'll buy the hats. And he'll have them, but it might take another year or whatever. You're going to leave before I get a chance to help you tonight. So maybe Monday we'll look at it.
Okay.
Because there's no way you're sticking around after postgame. Try to figure that out.
What is today?
Today is Sunday. No, Saturday. It's a Saturday night.
What?
Today's Saturday.
What?
Saturday.
What?
Maybe you'll stay up late.
No.
No?
Stay here
No,
on Saturday?
No. I mean, yeah, anyway. Yeah. For sure.
What?
Do you want to spend that was your drop. The what?
Oh.
You want to spend it? The weird thing is that when you play that drop, there's a little hint of Ryan's voice there. When you hear that, I almost thought he said what?
Ryan who?
Oh, sorry. Chocolate Thunder.
Oh, Chocolate Fudge. No, Chocolate Fudge?
Big Fudge or Chocolate Thunder? Or do you want to just make him Chocolate Fudge?
No, Chocolate Thunder. I got to admit.
Big Thunder?
CT.
We'll work on it. Yeah. CT over there. All right. First time they've been blanked all year. What do you make of this game?
I make it more about Florida than Dallas. I think that all the hype of how Dallas has been playing, deservedly so, and a team coming here that has won a couple Stanley Cups, there was probably a conversation in there saying, these guys think that they can take what we have, because they haven't yet. They will have it until somebody else takes it.
That's right.
So I felt that there was a little bit about what the game a couple nights ago was like, where Minnesota Wild played Dallas and they didn't respect their skill and their talent and all those skills. They came after them. And I think the penalty kill for the Florida Panthers tonight was a direct reflection, so to speak, of the entire game. They did not respect the power play. That is the best power play, second best, whatever it may be in the league. They gave them no time, no space. When teams are worried about, I think teams that play this power play of Dallas's and go, we got to be careful. We take ourselves out of a certain spot. They can pass the puck. They're going to pass it through us. They never gave them time to do that. I think they played the whole game like that.
I also think the Stars' power play looked a little sloppy with their passing.
But they made it look sloppy.
But do you think it was because of the lack of time?
They never had a chance to get a puck, settle it down, make a pass. There was somebody coming at them all the time. And there's actually a technique for that. Is you go again. I've used the analogy of a rope tied to each guy. When one guy goes, the next guy goes next. And if there's one weak link in there, a team like Dallas will find that
and pick them apart,
and they'll make one or two passes and they'll get them chasing. But they were all in harmony and unison and sync, whatever you want to call it. They were pressuring tonight, and they took time and space away in a smart way. And I just think that kind of carried into their game. They won a couple Stanley Cups, not necessarily because of their ability to score 6 goals a game. They won it based on goaltending and defense, and I think that was on display. Especially their goaltender was really good tonight too, when he needed to be. Not so much in the first period.
Before the game, morning skate today, which I believe the Panthers were in Farmers Branch, and the Stars were up in their practice rink because of the basketball game at the AAC this morning. Paul Maurice was quoted as saying, "You usually get a pretty good reset after those games." He was talking about losing 6-2 in Colorado on Thursday night. He said, "Everyone knows it. Everybody knows it. Nobody's happy. You want to get it over with, get it off you." That's a lot of talk, but Florida followed that up tonight.
Yeah, and they knew. I mean, Paul Maurice, of all people, knew that, that was on a back-to-back.
Yep.
Right? And they're playing, one of 2 of the hottest teams in the league, and they knew they were in tough against that team. And, and they had some guys, again, they don't have their whole team. They had guys running low on energy, all that other kind of stuff. And they're up in Colorado, which is never easy anyways. So I think that was almost one of those games where you see it on the schedule early. When you kind of see things on the schedule early, this is one of those, we don't expect to take 2 points here, regardless who they are, just their schedule and everything else. So I think that was kind of a coaching staff. They probably handled it like that. The conversation after the game may have been something similar. We know where we were, guys. We understand as coaches, management, we knew this was going to be a tough game. And we're focusing on another really good team in 48 hours from now or whatever.
The Stars spent a lot of time, especially Glenn Gullison this morning, talking about needing a better 5-on-5 game, saying that that's what they're focusing on right now. Now, they haven't exactly had the luxury of a lot of practice time, right? They did lose a game in Minnesota for the first time in regulation since mid-November. They had an 11-game point streak. So you lose a game, you go, all right, whatever. You can say, what did he say? He said we've been kind of cruising a little bit, winning games because of their goaltending and their special teams, which is great because you're not always going to find ways to beat an opponent 5-on-5. And so that's a bunch of tools to have in the bag. But he talked about that a lot today. Is it too much expectation to want to see a better 5-on-5 game so quickly after the coach calls that out?
I think they've been working on their 5-on-5. I mean, I don't think this is the first time they talked about it. I think this is the first time he's publicly came, because again, Gully hasn't had a lot of negative things to say, right? And they're finding ways to win hockey games. But, again, sometimes you just have to give some credit to the opponent. And I think that's one of those nights. Not that their best players were their best players. They weren't. I mean, there were times I even said to Ryan sitting up there last night, I'm like, I haven't even seen 96. Like in the first period, I was man, I haven't even seen him. But that's because of that team. I'm not putting that on Mikko. They just did a good job. This was a measuring stick, so to speak. It's kind of weird to say that for a 2-time Stanley Cup champion, for themselves, that they can see where they're at the 30-game-ish mark without a couple pretty important players on their team. And are we going this way? Are we just kind of doing this? And I don't think they're going like that, but I think that team is getting a little bit better. Again, it's not time for panic to set in, but I agree 100%. I mean, just texting with another one of them guys, GMs tonight, and they were talking about the 5-on-5 stuff. There's not a lot of it. There isn't a lot of it. But, when you're using that power play and teams are afraid to take penalties, and so then they take penalties and they come out and bang, 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 and all of a sudden they run it. And again, you're going to see another team and then another team. They're going to look at those games, right? They look at those games and they look what Florida did.
What did they do?
This is what Florida did against these guys. And what did Minnesota do to not allow, shots in the first? And so it was like, go.
Question.
Yes, Chocolate.
Are we concerned about 53?
Wyatt Johnston, concerned about his play right now?
On a night like tonight, to be honest with you, I don't know which guy pops for me is good in the hometown sweaters tonight. Yeah, Wyatt. Again, I said this, a couple shows ago also. Wyatt's been really good on the power play. He scored goals, right? You get him the puck, he puts it in the net. He's a finisher. I mean, and he's Canadian. So But I mean, he can finish on the. But as far as the 5-on-5 play goes for Wyatt, yeah, I think we need to see more from Wyatt. He doesn't seem to be dangerous. Like, you know how he was dangerous off the rush, and we see him kind of dangle a couple people.
He's also really good at
pull it from. I would start putting him on
too.
his offside. And I know he's in the middle of the ice. And this might be time they're going to play around with some stuff. You know, and again, you guys were
that
talking.
Duchesne option.
Yeah, go ahead. I didn't see a lot from Matt Duchesne, but he's just getting his game ramped up after. This is his third game being back? Second game?
Third.
Yep. Yeah. So he played 1 game and then he was out for a long time.
Considering that, I have fairly positive feelings about Matt Duchesne's game tonight because he did have a number of scoring chances in a game in which the Stars had very few, it felt like. And I wouldn't say that he popped, but maybe in the absence of other guys looking like that offensively, he kind of did, because at least he's not fatigued, right? A lot of these guys, and we're not trying to make excuses for him, but there is an amount of energy loss in this group because of their games they've played. And of course, Florida's been the same situation, but he looks like a guy that hasn't played 25 games in the last 35 days or whatever the
he's one of the guys tonight in the lineup that has an excuse.
Yes.
I mean, for sure. I mean, he's coming back from a long layoff.
But you go through that and ask me, which players on the Stars do you have any good feelings about after a game like this? And I say, well, honestly, it's in a weird way, Jake Ottinger looked pretty good. He gave up 4 goals. He's on the ice for 3 of them at the empty netter, but he was the only reason this game was close after a while. I made some big saves. Jamie Benn for his scrap, because the captain's first fight of the year where he stepped up and just said, I'm going to try to get this team going, and it didn't really work. I mean, he had a great fight. Noah Gregor probably regrets what he did because he got
Gregor
tuned up.
right off that face-off. Gregor, because I went back and watched it, and Gregor kind of stuck his glove in Jamie's face, and they were both trying to get off. But so they both kind of initiated. Then I actually thought Gregor was going after him, and then as the puck changes up the wall.
Studnicka tried to drill him and miss.
Yeah, he KO'd himself. Like he kissed the glass.
But then Jamie didn't like that, so he gave him a little shot, and Gregor came flying in.
Well, Gregor was ready to. That's why I think Gregor, if the puck wouldn't have gone out, because he had a path towards Jamie right off the faceoff, and then when the puck goes out, they play that third man's got to get above the puck, and so he needed to change his route. But as soon as that and Studnicka, whatever the hell his name is, when that happened, he was already on his way in. So he might have been looking. I don't know why you'd want to look for Jamie, but he was, and ultimately, it didn't turn out well for him.
To quote a great Indiana Jones movie, Gregor, he chose poorly.
Yeah, there was probably somebody better on the ice.
He didn't score, and I know it's been a long time for Radek Fox. Now 29 straight games.
Hey, he's winning face-offs, man.
But he's the other guy.
He had the best chance in the first. Well,
he sure did.
Unfortunately,
first chance of the game.
Wait. Unfortunately,
Foxa.
I know. I said, unfortunately, it was Radek to have that puck all by himself right there.
It was right on the rebound.
Again, why couldn't that be Wyatt or Miko or
Well, I'm sure we've said that about Sam Steele about a dozen times a year at some point. But yeah, he was the other guy. When I was just going through the roster, you asked me who did stand out. I thought Fox had a decent game.
He was 85% in the faceoff.
7 out of 8, 88%.
88.
He had that great chance. He had a couple, actually. But a majority of the guys, like Miro was quiet tonight generally, but whatever. He's Miro. He's great. I didn't see a whole lot from Rope Hintz, who got crushed in the faceoff circle. See that? Very uncharacteristic. He was 5 for 12 against. So he won 5 of 17 faceoffs, 29%. That's a really rough night in the circle for him.
I'm telling you, though.
And he's usually really good at it.
And especially his stance in there, he relies a lot on his legs. And so if he's hurting him with his ankle,
good point.
That you dig in with your legs.
And who he lost to predominantly was Anton Lundell.
Well, he's pretty good.
Lundell was 14 of 21.
Yeah. He's their top guy right now.
Really, really good. So those are the ones that stand out to me. Was there anybody other than those 3 I mentioned, which was Ottinger, Foxa, and Duchesne?
I saw the real
Ben?
Thomas Harley in the last couple of minutes of the game.
Did you?
I did. I like Thomas. I mean, again, I'm waiting for him, but what I saw in the last couple of rushes up the ice, he got a couple different opportunities late in the game. Yeah, I know it's wide open a little bit, but But
It was
I'm
the
going
4-on-4 play.
That's the guy right there. There's still things that he's trying to work through. And again, between his injury and whatever else he had coming into this thing, there's a lot of these guys. They got, there's going to come another couple games and we're done giving them a pass, with the excuses. But I saw flashes and I was kind of chatting with someone about him, and he's injury and all this other kind of stuff. But anyway, there was a response, but we won't go there.
Do you think that there's any concern? Well, let's continue the Harley talk. We'll get into the breakdowns and stuff after the break here on the DLS Stars postgame show. If you're like me and you're at the last minute stage of your holiday shop, actually, I'm a little farther ahead this year than usual, but usually I'm scrambling. Well, that's where you come with Aura Frames, because not only is it a very quick and easy purchase, but it actually is a great gift. And so in the end, it looks like you've been planning the whole time. Plus, it works for anybody on your holiday list. This wonderful digital frame that you can connect to via their app, and it is fantastic. Let me tell you a little bit how you get it. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using the promo code DLLS at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code DLLS. This deal is exclusive to our listeners, and frames sell out fast. So order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Don't forget to support our show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Now let's talk about Monarch. Many people don't know or don't pay attention to all of the things in their portfolio, whether it's a checking account, savings account, 401ks, a Roth IRA if you're into the retirement investments. Maybe it's a property. And if you're not paying attention, you can leave money on the table. That's where Monarch comes in. And right now, just for our listeners, Monarch is offering 50% off your first year. But it's more than that. Money can break up couples. Well, Monarch actually brings them together. Monarch gives your partner full access to your shared dashboard. So it's including linked accounts, budgets, goals, spending activity, all in one place. And that means there's no extra cost. So fights about money are the #1 reason relationships fall apart. But with Monarch, you don't have to have the guessing, hiding, or I didn't realize we spent that much. It's fantastic. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code DLLS at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with the code DLLS. All right, let me ask you this, and then we'll get to our breakdown tonight. You were mentioning Thomas Harley. Do you think there's any chance that he doesn't make Team Canada for the Olympics?
Well, I think nobody knows, but
because everybody I've seen,
I would say the good news for Thomas is they're not loaded on defensemen.
Yeah, but he's on every projection, and we've said it all season prior to his injury, and then now he hasn't looked himself.
And there's somebody up there sitting next to that guy lobbying for him,
sure,
and telling him, "Hey, it's coming along. He's going to be fine." And all this other, and he probably is going to be fine. So, I think
what he has going for him. He did it at the Four Nations because
but
NHL GMs, and of course most of the ones doing the Olympic picking are NHL GMs. They love resumes. They love players that have done it in big games before because they know that they have at least found a way to get to that level previously. There's no guarantees that those guys will do it again, but they like that.
Yeah, but this is different. This is the Olympics.
Yeah.
So they need guys that are on it when they get there.
Yeah.
You can't. So, and I don't know if there's anybody else popping off the sheet for them. I don't even know who they're all picking. No idea. But yeah, I just think that, and again, it's not like this is one game. One guy that's going to be part of Hockey Canada. One guy's always here that's part of Hockey Canada. But they're not just going to come in and look at one game. I'm not talking about Jim. I'm talking about anybody else that's got something to do with that club. They're not just going to come in. And they've had people watching all over the place. So that to me, that's the one drawback for Thomas. Is like if there are people out here watching when they're on the road, when they're at home and everything else, you're going to say, well, he hasn't looked that good. But then the Stars GM is going to be able to say, well, listen, he's had this, and he's had that. By the time we get to February, he's going to be the guy you saw at Four Nations, hopefully.
I would hope so. And they're probably hoping that as well. All right, let's get into the breakdown of this one as the Stars lose to the Panthers 4-0, their first clean sheet against this season. How about that first period?
What period?
When the first period ended tonight, the shots on goal on the scoreboard said 3-2. When the second period started, the shots and goals said 2-2. They actually took one away. There were 4 official on-goal shots combined in the opening 20 minutes. But there were actually some interesting chances. They just missed the net a lot.
It was sad. It was a sad period. But since we're going to talk about the first goal, speaking of sad, there was a couple positional things there that, you know, I think when Petro, we all like Petro. What's a puck? As this one here, Petro takes himself here out of the middle of the ice, which, you know, again, I believe he thought this puck was going to get chipped up the wall and he was going to get to it first. It doesn't. It stays there near the red line. And then as he gets over there, now all of a sudden what he has to do, he has to recover. But then again, you know, I talked about this with Lee and Bichel. These are big guys. You start getting your nose over your toes, and when people want to cut back on you, especially when you're chasing from that side of the ice, you're trying to fight your way back to the middle. You've got speed here. Lundell's a nifty little player. He's got his stick in a pretty good position, but right about now he needs to flip his stick. But now is when he's leaning. And again, here's my thing, is when you see a forward's feet stop, they're not moving anymore. It's because he does not like your position. He wants you to move because he doesn't have the area that he wants to get into. They want you to come to him. Come a little bit closer so I can make my move. That's what happened here, and that's where his feet were stopped. They look like a pair of eyeballs. I never even noticed that.
They do.
Or they could be something else.
You can connect those and make those look like glasses.
Well, I could make them look like a couple different things. So,
yes, you could.
So then ultimately, as they race back to the net, and Jake I guess you kind of call it losing your net right here. Again, it's a crafty little play by Lundell. He keeps control of the puck, and there's a hole here. But man, to have
it looked like he overskated this. To
have the patience here, though, and the wherewithal to just take your time. Like for good players, the game slows down, and you can see Jake trying to stretch back But
look at where Lundell's feet are when he gets this thing.
I was going to draw that little line there for you, but I figured it was pretty clear with that.
I mean, he's in the trapezoid right now. Obviously, if he's right-handed, he can't make that play, right? Yep. He'd have to do it on the backhand.
Well, we've seen guys make that play, but
that was, you said nifty. That was a very nifty piece of stick handling.
You know how many guys in the NHL I'm talking about that would have skated past that area?
Yeah,
wouldn't have been able to make. Yeah, but guys just have that thing about the game actually slows down for them, and that was one of them cases. And he had to recognize early that Jake was going to leave a little space there in order to make that play.
On the flip side, so you go back to the first period, and that was 19 seconds into the second period. We talk about how the Stars didn't create a whole lot. Florida Panthers didn't create a whole lot in the first period either. It was a stalemate. Mm-hmm. And Dallas has shown patience and maturity in games before where, remember the New Jersey game, where they just kind of, honestly, if you look at the New Jersey game, and flip that on its head, that's what happened tonight to the Stars. They defended New Jersey, and then all of a sudden, Stars got a goal, and then they got a second, and they just stayed within their structure. This kind of feels
different team,
right? But this still feels in theme similar.
Yeah, and sometimes that becomes the problem, is that you've done it in the past against other teams, and you have to recognize who you're playing against. Which I'm sure they knew everything, but I'm just saying that you could pick up a lot of different teams that Dallas has come back on and won hockey games because they're not the Stanley Cup champions or up at the top. And this is a team I think that they're getting things worked out. So it was a good test. This was a good lesson game for Dallas.
You remember the Finland games at all last year still, or is that kind of vague and blurry now? The 2 games between the Stars and Panthers last year in Finland.
Against Florida. Yeah,
it's kind of like this. Yeah. Whereas once the Panthers got the lead, the Stars got put into a tough position, and breaking Florida down got even more challenging because of that. Yeah, well, they get that lead first 20 seconds of the period.
Listen,
and then they struggled with it.
It's the reason that Edmonton gets to a certain point the last couple of years and just can't get it over the goal line. It's about the structure, and that team that was in the building tonight, they lean and they understand the structure of it.
The Stars had a couple of looks, nothing crazy, but it was Foxa, Oscar Beck, Labushkin, Wyatt had one on the side of the net. Not a lot of Robo, Hintz, Rantanens.
When you mention them first 3 names,
that's what I'm getting at.
On other nights where you're mentioning the big guys.
All the
right?
time.
Yeah.
Not tonight.
Yeah.
Well, tonight. Then it was a steady stream of Florida, and then they get the second goal. Now, it was a long review for the Sam Bennett goal. In the end, they were looking for a distinct kicking motion. They didn't find one. The goal was held up 2-0. in favor of Florida, and that was 5:45 into the second period.
Yeah, it was a tough one for me too. I mean, just looking at it, but again, stick on puck. And Verhaeghe, every time this dude gets around the net, he gets below the hash marks, something good happens for him. But he finds a way to get around the stick. He throws the puck up. Save made by Jake. Jake, and I'm not saying the rebound got away from him because it was off to his left side, and that's where the rebound goes. And poor Coco, I think he realizes it, and he reaches out, and it hits his hand, then ultimately it drops down onto the stick. And then, and again, this is just another one of these where look at the net again, right? And so there we go. But I'm just saying that when you see this one go off the leg, and when you slow it down, it does look like he's kicking it at it. But that thing there had something to do with it. When it was called a goal on the ice, and then they go and they can't overturn it. But again, I have the luxury of looking at it for 20 minutes. What happened was,
so did they. It was a long review.
No. I'm talking about as coming in. So I just felt that Bennett, he didn't know even where the puck was. He was looking to the center of the ice. He was actually looking at Coco because that's where the puck was. And then after it went off of him, he never looked you can't see where he's looking for the puck at all. I don't know if he even realized it until it actually hit him in the leg.
So I think I think it hit him, and then he just tried to swing at it with his stick.
He did.
Yeah,
he did, and he was lucky he got it. But again, when you look at that slow mo, then it kind of looks like he is, because the back of his heel, it looks like it's a kicking motion. But honestly, it's a normal motion, and obviously they looked at it for a little bit, and there wasn't enough there to overturn it, and so they couldn't overturn the call that the one referee made.
I didn't have a big problem with it. If it had been a Stars player in that situation, I think I would have wanted that to count.
Well, of course.
No, but that to me, that's always a test. If you're a fan and you watch that and you go, "Oh, that was a kicking motion, it shouldn't have counted," and then you say, "Okay, well, what if that was Jason Robertson at the side of the net?" Would you have felt the same way? And I think the answer is that's probably the right call.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want the league to intentionally take away goals just because of the margins, the subjectiveness of a rule. And in that one, it wasn't as though he was clearly trying to score with his feet. It was more of a...
Because it didn't hit him in the foot. It hit him up just below the knee. It hit him right below hit him above his ankle where the back of it would. That's where it hit him. It didn't hit him in the foot at all. So that kind of, to me, I'm like, well, and then it was just more about knocking the puck down once he realized where it was.
Why did I say that that Jake Ottinger had a really good night, even though he gave up 3 goals and he lost? Well, because the Stars get a power play, the first of the game, in the second period after it was 2-0, and the 2 best chances on that power play belonged to the Florida Panthers. First, it was Evan Rodriguez, one-on-one on his backhand, and then Sam Reinhart had that neat little tip play at the top of the crease. Otter made both of those saves, and that was huge. Then Losterinen, on a delayed penalty, he was back to 5-on-5, got in and hit the crossbar, and Jake didn't make the initial save, but boy, he had some fancy little twisting back heel footwork to make sure it didn't hit him and trickle back in.
I think the reason that Jake saw a couple shorthanded chances against him is because, again, I go back to, I don't think Dallas was expecting as much pressure as they got. They got a little caught off guard with the pressure. And so, because they're lately they've had opportunity. They kind of play with the puck around the perimeter and they go all the way around the box. But they took every single pass away and they gave them no time. And I believe that's what created those turnovers, because they were arriving at the places the puck was supposed to get to by the time it got there.
Let's do the other goal, and then we'll go back to the Jamie fight in the next segment. But Brad Marchand's power play goal, after the Stars failed to really do anything with their power play in the second period, which could have gotten them back in the game. I mean, heck, tonight, special teams and goaltending, clearly the Panthers got what they were looking for.
Yeah, and again, Marchand gets a couple on the empty netter again tonight. Here's the part I didn't like. I don't like, look at all the space. We just got done talking about this for weeks about how much there was no space here. They were tighter. Now, all of a sudden, our wingers are starting to spread out, and now that allows that initial shot to get there. Otherwise, it ends up moving a little bit down, along the perimeter here, and this is the lane that opens up when you get your wingers that are playing on the side of the diamond. They get too far out, and then ultimately after that shot, we got 4 guys that are staring at the puck. Nobody's really looking around, but the play is really made by Reinhart in the middle of the ice here. I mean, he knew. Again, I say this a lot is you need to know where your outlets are before you get the puck. You don't know when you're going to get the puck. I'm sure Reinhart had an idea where Marchand was and where everybody else was on the ice. And as soon as that thing popped down, he just threw it behind him, and then the little guy
Heck of a play.
He leans into it. I mean, and he gets it. And Jake doesn't have a chance on this one because the puck's in the middle of the ice. He doesn't know Reinhart's going to take that initial shot. He's got to play off of him. And so he puts it in the perfect spot for Marchand. He drops that knee down, and, a lot of room there for him to score.
Marchand would also get an empty net goal late in the game after a fairly decent amount of 6-on-5 time where the Stars actually looked a little better, and you were like, oh, wait, they have an extra guy on the ice because they showed some offensive sign of life.
Yeah, I didn't even recognize that. I was like, nah, now they're looking a little better. Then I said to Ryan, oh, man. Yeah, they got 6 guys up there. And then I looked, there's 5 minutes or so left.
Let's talk about Jamie Benn's fight. Let's talk to Sam over at the AAC, your super chats, and all that implies next here on the DLS Stars postgame show. I hope that you, like me, either have or are planning to have a visit to Wild Fork Foods. 9 DFW locations. We've been out there more than once, including some great tastings out at one of their locations. I think even today in Louisville with Clarence Hill and a couple others. I think Bobby was out there. But I'm getting beside the point. Wild Fork Foods meat and seafood market has so many things available. They have over 500 different type of cuts at $10 per pound or less. And they have over 700 items, including really exotic cuts, but all the ones you expect as well. So it's not just ostrich and alligator and rabbit. They also have all the steaks and the chicken and the seafood, the pork, you name it. Frozen is fresher at Wild Fork Foods because they blast freeze everything to maintain freshness. Their organic, grass-fed, 85% lean ground beef is $5.60 a pound when you buy 2. That's just about as best I've seen. You've got to try them out. 9 area DFW locations, wildforkfoods.com. Now let's talk about the World Cup or trying to get in. Already seen people complaining about ticket prices and FIFA saying that they were going to have very easy deals and lots of affordable stuff. And then here comes dynamic pricing. Well, one way and probably the best way to get your FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets, whether it's in Dallas or anywhere else in North America hosting games, is by using Game Time. It's very, very simple. Their app is so easy to use. You can search by venue, you can search by team, you can search by city, and find, of course, by dates, all that stuff. You can find exactly what you're looking for. Seat views, you can see the best deals available. You can even go a zone deal where you pick a section and Game Time will pick your seats to save you money. Take the guesswork out of buying soccer tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply again. Create an account, redeem the code DLLS for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, download the Game Time app today. All right, before we say hi to Sam, I didn't mention when we talked about, because we're kind of going through the Marchand goal quickly, but that was yes, there were problems on that from the penalty kill, but that snapped a 35 consecutive kill streak for the Stars PK that's been really, really good for the better part of a month now.
Yeah.
They've got it figured out.
Yeah.
Because they started the season very poorly.
Again, don't let it slip away.
Yes.
Don't tighten that thing back up again.
But you have shown, to your point, have shown signs of it starting to get a little looser than it has been.
There's been a couple times over the last 2-3 games you can see a little bit more space, and Jake is having to make those saves where he didn't have to for a stretch in there. There's more that he can see, and if he can't see it, it's because there's 2 or 3 guys in a shot lane, and now you're seeing shot lanes are starting to open up.
And isn't that a bit of a microcosm of the Stars game overall? While they were getting the results, you started to see things just sort of not unravel, just get a little sloppy, and then now's the time to clean it back up. And the problem is,
honestly,
you're not going to have a lot of practice time to do it.
Honestly, the time is to clean it up is when you see the very first one.
Yes.
That game the next morning, and you have 2 of 5 kills, but nothing went in the net. You know what I mean? But you got it. We're loosening it up. We're getting, we got to tighten it back up because we don't want to. We've been doing really well with our structure, and so you got to get on it right away.
All right, let's go say hello to our buddy Sam Nestler over at American Airlines Center. Sam, disappointing one tonight, but let's start with the Tyler Seguin ceremony before the game because, as I said to Luds, that was one of the 2 best things for the Stars' perspective tonight, with the other being Jamie Benn's scrap in the second period.
Yeah, it was great. I think we talked about it pregame. It was a big moment for Tyler and his family. Daryl Ray doing a great job with introducing and going through the video on the board. Had a bunch of his teammates come out with Jamie giving him, I think, the golf cart thing, the custom golf cart, the plaque, then the Finns coming out giving flowers to his family. It was just a cool moment to see, the what he came from, because a lot of Stars fans didn't know a lot of the history of Tyler Seguin either, and right before he gets into came to the team and everything that he did with Jamie. And it's just wild to see how long he's been a part of this team, and how much of an impact he had right away. Everyone talks about Jamie Benn when the Stars came over to that new Victory Green and changed their logo and all that kind of stuff. Tyler was just as important to all of that, and bringing fans to this team with his highlight reel goals and all the style they had, not just when they got good and started actually kind of making the playoffs and playing well, but when they weren't very good for those first couple of years, they finally get back to the playoffs. Just a huge moment for Tyler, a huge moment for the Stars fans, and as expected, a huge ovation, standing ovation when he first came on the ice. And then when Razor kind of gave let's give a last round of applause for Seguin, another standing ovation, huge cheer. Just great to see, and we can confirm, as we expected, he did get a little bit emotional out there as well. So just a huge moment for him, and good. And I talked to I've talked about it a lot this week, but seeing him at the rink the other day and seeing that he's just never defeated. He's telling me, I got a different timeline than anyone else, so it depends who you ask. And Glenn Goldson is reiterating that this morning on how his outlook on life. There's a lot to learn from guys like Tyler Seguin, and it's a great guy to be around, whether you're us in the media, whether you're coaches, whether you're teammates or younger guys. So just a huge moment for him, and it was really great to see how everything was pulled out.
One of the best, not to give your buddy Razor too much credit, they took turns presenting things, right? Brad Alberts, I believe, presented Tyler with a Tiffany crystal commemorating. I believe that it was Jamie that came out with it was like a piece of paper. Apparently the team is getting him like a personalized custom golf cart, some really fancy thing, but it was like something on a piece of paper to present to him because they didn't bring a golf cart out on the ice. And then Jim Nill did the silver stick. Well, when Jamie gave Tyler the piece of paper, Razor just looked, and I think he ad-libbed it. Goes, "That's a pretty small looking golf cart." It's a good line. I laughed. I don't know if you heard much of a howl. I think the crowd I think he got a good one there. So
a golf cart. They should be getting him a golf course.
Well, he could probably buy his own golf course, couldn't he? Yeah. It's funny because the last few years we've seen a few guys go through this, and usually it's a trip somewhere. That all expenses paid trip here or there. We've seen that a few times, but I think they gave him some of the guys, they've given him like a Rolex or something. But Tyler's a big golfer, so he's very excited about it. As far as the game itself, Sam, what was the reaction post game? Because I'm sure nobody was particularly thrilled with the result.
Yeah, two things I took away from this. Going into the locker room, that was the most down I've seen the players. So we talked to Colin Blackwell, Radek Faksa, and Lundell, and each one of them had a lot. I was in Denver for, what was that, the second game of the year, I think, and that was a bad game, right? They win the game, but it's a bad game. They've had a few of those where they just haven't had their legs. Maybe they find a way to get a point or whatever it is. Tonight, this was the first time I've really seen them down, and I'm talking about Lundell. I mean, this is the guy who smiles through pretty much everything in the world. And he had very short, kind of 2-3 word answers for every question. Just, we weren't good enough. We weren't good enough. A specific question about something, the answer was, they were better. We weren't good enough. And Blackwell went into a little more detail. Foxa went into a little more detail. But the conversation over and over was, we've got to find a way to play better hockey. And Radek Foxa actually used the term getting slapped. He said, we got slapped tonight. We got slapped in Minnesota. They're not the same type of mistakes necessarily, different kind of games, but we got slapped. And that's the way he said it. And he said, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a wake-up call that we can't just keep scratching and clawing and finding ways to do it, which we've talked about countless times during this season. They've done an amazing job getting to where they have been. No one expected their record to look like this, going through all the injuries, all the changes to the structure, everything that they have had to deal with to be where they are in the NHL, sitting behind only one team. is a massive accomplishment, and nothing, you can't take that away from him. But I don't want to use fatigue as an excuse, because it's not. Every team's dealing with it. But there's a reason why a team that scratches and claws and is always on the bubble and finally gets in a playoff spot, a lot of times look like they run out of gas. That's what this team's been doing now for 2 months, is scratching, clawing, finding a point here, finding an extra goal, finding a way to get 3 power play goals to win a game, doing everything they can to get a point. And we're starting to see that that's not going to continue to carry over. It's not sustainable. So the players reacted very emotionally, very, very, professionally, but also down. And then you go talk to Glenn Goldson, and it was kind of the opposite. It was almost a give credit to Florida for playing the way they do. Everyone gets the A game for Florida. It's hard to get to areas, and he took stuff from his team. He said we didn't do enough to get to those areas. You can't have 9 shots on goal through 2 periods, 2 games in a row. It's just not going to cut it. But he was very even keeled. He wasn't getting too low. He wasn't saying, we're not creating enough. We're not doing this. We're turning the puck over too much. He just kind of kept it even, saying, look, this is going to happen. We didn't play our best game. Florida played a really good game. And that's kind of the way that they look at it. And now, as Led's just said, now they understand, though, that they need to put a stop to this kind of no shots, turnovers, sloppy play right now. And they can't let it turn into 3, 4, 5 games. They have a chance here on, Monday, to play another good defensively structured team in LA. They have to get better tomorrow at practice, and they have to find a way to come out not only with jump and legs, but more focus. The mental mistakes were very obvious tonight. So I think get some of that stuff out of your system, I guess, and find a way to put it together for a little more consistently throughout the game.
Sam, I was saying earlier, like in games like this, your best players need to be your best players, right? I mean, you look at Robo, Wyatt, Rantanen, and Hintz.
Mm-hmm.
There was 1 shot combined between those 4.
Yeah.
That says maybe that says more about Florida than it does about those guys, but even still. And they had what? How many power plays did they have? 3 tonight?
3, I believe.
3 of them.
3,
Yep.
And they didn't look good.
Remember a couple of games ago when we were playing like I don't know what team it was, but I think there were, 25 passes or 13. I don't know what it was, but there was like 4 or 5 shots, in 40 seconds, quality shots. So, like I said, sometimes you just give credit to the team that you played against, and now you have to recognize that's the one we're going to need to go through. Maybe
give me that list of players that you just. It was Robo, Hintz, Rantanen, Wyatt. Okay,
Johnston.
So just going through those really quickly, you talk about shots. Robo had 0 shots on goal, and he had 6 attempts. 3 were blocked and 3 missed the net. Right, so none on goal, but he did have some effort toward it. Right, Hintz. 0-0-0. Okay. Wyatt, 1 shot on goal, 2 shots blocked, no misses. So 3 attempts. And then Rantanen, 0 on goal, 1 blocked, and 1 miss. So not enough. Not enough volume that way. No, it's the thing. Sam, I have a quick question for you, and this is not aimed at you, so I don't want you to take a personal offense on this. Just more of a open-ended question of, and again, look.
Oh, I know where you're going.
It's 2 losses.
I think I do too.
I think Sam knows where you're going too. Sam's going to say, I got nothing to do with it.
No. This is not about Sam. It's more of an opinion question.
No, exactly.
But this is only 2 losses. They just had an 11-game point streak. We're not flipping out here. But I can't help but think about where Lud's played in Montreal, Toronto, New York, Vancouver, those kind of places where the media accountability is exceedingly high. Do you think that, in your opinion, Esa Lundell, Radek Faksa, and Colin Blackwell are the best representatives after a game like this against the Florida Panthers?
That's his way of saying you're right.
Yeah.
I'm not getting in trouble.
Look, I'm not trying to blame Sam at all, and I want to make that abundantly clear. This is not about Sam at all. I'm sitting here, and I look at Luds when you were talking about who he spoke to, and I'm going, man, I'd kind of like to hear with somebody, S is part of the leadership group. Yep. Radek's been around a long time, but I would like to hear from Ben, Rantanen, Miro.
Any
Hintz,
of those 4?
Robo,
yeah,
Wyatt, right? Just the guys that you're counting on to be the big names, and nothing against the other guys, but that's sort of my take on it.
Yeah, well, when things are going well, they're front and center, and it's not. But everybody has to understand, it's not them.
No,
I mean, you didn't elaborate
the
that much.
media group requests that's how they do it now. It's not an open room like it was when you were.
Would you take Sam off the screen because he's
Sam's like, yeah. So Sam, any other final thoughts before we have to get our ad break here in a minute? Any final thoughts on this one before we go to the super chats and talk about Jamie's fight?
Yeah, you're going to talk about Jamie's fight, so I won't go too far into it. But I did ask Radek and Glenn about it because it was clear, like that was as clear as day of wake the F up, guys. There's some fights where it's not necessarily about a message. Jamie was sending a message. He came out of nowhere, dragged whoever that was down, and immediately dropped the gloves as soon as Gregor got over there. Went after him. It was a great scrap, and unfortunately for the Stars, obviously they didn't respond to it. But it was also unfortunate they had a media timeout right afterwards because you had the energy, you had the team banging on the boards, and then you go to a TV timeout, and it kind of cut everything out of there. But they both said specifically the team knows when Jamie Benn is sending a message. That it was up and down the bench in between the second and third period. There was a lot of conversation about it. Radek Fox has said Jamie steps up and sends a message. We need to answer, and we did not. So I just thought that was interesting that they were very aware of what their captain was doing. They just unfortunately weren't able to ride that.
All right, Sam. Appreciate the time. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you on Monday for Stars and Kings.
Good night.
There he goes. Sam suddenly lost the ability to speak.
Oh, no. He was pleading the fifth there.
Yeah, he sure was. I understand why. We'll get Sean on because Sean likes to.
Sean will let loose on.
He likes to get on the soapbox. So maybe Monday.
Sean, if you're listening, please call in.
Tuesday. Yeah, Sean, call in late. We'll say hi. Up next, let's talk about Jamie Benn's fight. We have a breakdown and all of your super chats here on the DLS Stars postgame show.
Time for the rant. Where's my hats? Where are the hats? All right. So if you haven't been listening, Lutz has got 4 hats sitting in some basket somewhere that we're calling out to the brass of DLLS. Can we release my hats? I don't know what it is. Anyway, they're awesome looking hats.
We're going to get these for you. I'm going to help you because I promise you that it's got to be easy.
Yeah. They're in the basket. I got to a point. I got to a certain point. So anyway, and I think in honor of the captain, let's pull up not the finisher, not that one. Let's call up Jamie Benn. Well, there it is, right there. There's the captain. Captain did what he needed to do tonight, and he generally does. And so everything that Sam said, you could feel it, and you could see it boiling the way the game was going along. And the captain did not like the way things were, and so he did what he needed to do. And whether it helped them or not, did they get a little bump out of it? I don't know. But again, no shield on there.
Nope, didn't need it. But let's talk about being a diehard. You could get one of the shirts that Luds is. Oh, how about the one he's wearing? I mean, that's a very good-looking face-off collection. The
price was right,
as Luds calls it, the green one.
Yeah. Well, it's victory green, isn't it? I don't even know what
exactly, but it's a very good-looking green.
is.
Scan the QR code below Luds on the screen right now, or if you happen to be listening to this later on the podcast version, go to alldlls.com, and that will take you to our website. And you can sign up to be a diehard today. And if you do, you get a free t-shirt for your first year of your annual subscription. And it gives access to all the writing that Sam does or Sean or the guys that cover the other beats, which would be, of course, you have, let's see, Clarence with the Cowboys. You've got, I'm blanking here for a second. You got Jeff with the Rangers. And our new guy with the Mavs. Oh, wait, Ali with the Cowboys as well. And Ron, who we watched eat our leftover Hooters, along with, of course, it wasn't just Ron, it was KG and Tanner. They were going to town on the leftover wings that we had a ton of food from the DLS Stars takeover. Anyway, you should sign up to be a diehard. We are a growing community of making it more fun to be a sports fan, and you should join. All right, Luds.
Okay.
I don't know why I couldn't think of Ron's name for a second because I definitely knew it, and I know Ron, and he's doing a great job. Nope, not that Ron.
Ron White is playing on the road on New Year's
Ron,
Eve.
our Mavs
we can't
writer.
do it on New Year's Eve. We're not going to be there.
You know, I was there was another stand-up comedian that's in town.
I know.
I want to see, and unfortunately, we have a game. I think it's a StreamYard game.
No, I didn't think we did have a game that night. I thought you told me it wasn't because you said tickets may have been gone.
No,
because I
think it was the same night. Yeah. Oh. Anyway, Chappelle. Yep.
Yeah. Dave.
So let's talk about Jamie Benn's fight because you have a breakdown of it, and honestly, it was the most exciting moment of the game once the game started. Because I thought to be, all kidding aside, Tyler Seguin's ceremony was really well done, and I thought Razor made a nice comment where he turned and thanked Paul Maurice and the players for being on the bench for the entire. They were just out there with the Stars teams on their bench, and a lot of times visiting teams are given the option. Hey, we're going to do this thing. You can stay in the locker room. You can come out. I just thought that was a really nice gesture.
I think that most of the 1,000-game things, the players stay because it's a pretty big milestone.
Heck of a milestone.
Yeah, and especially knowing Tyler and everything that he's had to go through.
Well, and I wonder I don't know if this came from Maurice or if it's Brad Marchand, because he and Tyler have been buddies since they were rookies.
Oh, and Marchand never came over, did he?
No,
I didn't see it.
I did. Well, you know what? It's funny because once things got started, I didn't look when because Tyler was standing.
There were so many things going on. He probably didn't want to get in the way.
But you know what he did do? He recorded a video message they played later in the game. There was a ton of tributes, including old teammates from the Stars. Ben Bishop was one of them. Alexander Radulov, Jason Spezza, just to name a few. And then it was really cool to see some of his old Boston guys. Chara.
Oh, didn't see that.
Bergeron. Well, this was in the arena. I don't know if they showed it on the television.
I thought there was something.
But it was TV. Chara, Bergeron, and Marchand all in a row, and that was really cool seeing. So, let's talk about the Jamie Benn fight.
Yeah.
What's the puck?
Somebody needed to answer the bell and step up to the plate, and it was the captain. But again, this is where I thought it all started here. Like, to me, this is where Gregor and him kind of went at it right off the draw.
I didn't see that when it started.
Yeah, well, you got to be up here. You got to take a good look at things, Owen. You miss so much when you're at the game. So me and Hot Chocolate we got things covered here. So
you're messing it up now, Hot Chocolate.
But this one here is what I didn't know what was going on here, because
this is what I saw.
Well, this is when Sputnik goes over here and he tries to take Jamie out of here.
He tried to run Jamie through the board.
Yeah, and Jamie, but you could hear him coming, I'm sure. And
You've
so he
seen the first Top Gun.
Yeah,
Maverick hit the brake and he flew right on by.
Yeah, kind of. That's what it was. One of them things. And he kisses the glass right here, and this is where Gregor was just. He's right here. That's why I figured he saw this. I didn't put the other part on there, but right off the face-off, he started heading towards Jamie after that little thing off the draw.
And Jamie took a shot at Studnicka after that miss.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jamie right here. Jamie saw the other one coming. He saw Gregor coming.
He was ready for him.
He knew right away. His gloves were down before it got in there, and then Jamie got the jump on. Oh, I kind of threw this one there later. So you can kind of buzz by that one, Ryan. You didn't proofread it, so that was just an extra one. Yeah. So here we go. This is where I think this is the first blow. Oh yeah, there it is. That's the first blow right there. There's one. There's another one that landed. There's the third one that landed, and then this is the follow through. This is the pile driver. This one here, you don't see his head anymore. He's turtled. This is the turtle.
He lost his helmet long ago.
And then he pulls him back up again, and he just gives him one for the good old days, and then he drops the hammer again on him, and that was pretty much done. And there's the turtle right there.
Well, he was not in a good
position. He turtled
position,
a couple times. He kind of, I think he got in there after like the second one. He was thinking to himself, "What the hell did I just do?
Why am I doing that?" I mean, I guess kudos to
Never
Gregor
heard of this Ben guy. What does he do?
But
yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? Good for him though. I guess.
And honestly, for me, I was encouraged.
He's getting a lot of pats on the butt. I'll guarantee it after that.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was encouraged to see Jamie do that because that's the first time he's dropped the gloves this year, coming back from the collapsed lung. If he's doing that, he's not worried about his physical condition at this point.
Well, he probably knows that it's not a true heavyweight, maybe too, that he can have.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't going after Ryan Reeves.
Yeah.
But there's some guys that have some toughness over there on the the Florida side there.
Yeah, they weren't in the lineup though.
No, that's true. But nonetheless. So let's get to some super chats here because we don't have a ton of time left. Amazingly, for a 4-0 loss, we've moved right through this one, Lud. So let's get to those super chats here on the DLS Stars postgame show. We'll start with Hidalgo with a Ludwig or a Klingberg, if you want, and a Rantanen. Trade Robo.
Could be Dumba.
It could.
I think Dumba's on waivers.
He is on waivers.
I believe he's.
The question was, did he clear?
I would believe so.
So Hidalgo with a very...
Once he got trade Robo.
Trade Robo. I would say that's a really logical, rational reaction to this game.
Yeah. Well, you could trade after this game. You might want to trade. I mean, if you're going to trade Robo, you might as well trade a couple more guys too.
You think?
So, yeah. Let's tap the break.
Let's go to Finger Blaster 911 with a Lundqvist and a Lundqvist, or it could be a Sidor, right? Mm-hmm. Way too much hot puke from Tom Harley this season. Consider me disappointed.
What's hot soup? I know that's not a positive thing.
Hot puke.
Oh,
Vomit.
hot puke. I thought you said hot soup. I was
No,
like,
no.
what's wrong with hot soup?
We're not talking about Chocolate Thunder over here.
Yeah, you know what? It hasn't been the start that he wanted. But again, he's had some bumps and bruises, and I don't know if he was sick too. But yeah, I think we expected more from him, and I know that we're probably judging him on the new contract. That comes with the territory, but he needs to be better.
Did you say this is a confusing one from Burned Oils? This is a Hatcher and a year after the Cup. It says, I disagree, Luds. Not trading Robo would be a joke. Did you say something? You didn't say anything about it. So this is from a while ago. Like you didn't. This isn't in response unless he's predicting your response.
Oh, is that what it is?
I have no idea.
Not trading is a joke or isn't it?
Not trading Robo would be a joke. So he also wants Robo traded?
That's the way I read that. I don't know.
I don't know how you could read it any other way. Finger Blaster 911 with a Oscar Beck and a Mike Modano. Could be a Brandon Morrow, but we'll go with Beck because it's current.
We never go with Brandon Morrow.
Do you want me to go with Morrow?
Yeah, go with me.
Okay, so Morrow and a Modano. If there was a shootout competition, oh no, between Steele and Fox without goalies, who would win? And how many rounds of 0-0 would it go?
I'm giving that one to Sam Steele. After, what do they got to get to, though? One?
They just asking how many times will it go 0-0 before somebody did score it without a goalie. I mean, look, these guys are NHL players. They have talent.
Well, who's the goalie?
Well, they're saying without goalies.
Oh, wasn't listening to you again. Oh,
I know.
without a goalie, well, that's foolish. I mean,
yeah.
First guy wins. Bang.
Hidalgo with a Ludwig and a Rantanen. Luds, is fatigue ever an excuse for bad play?
No, it's a reality, but it's not an excuse because generally, especially this year, if you're tired, the other team's tired. They all have the same kind of schedule. Not all the time. Some couple teams will have a couple, and yeah, but no, I mean, it's there, it's real, but I very rarely do you ever allow players to use it. I don't think players like using it either.
Let's go to the next one.
Bing bang.
Thank you. Hidalgo with another one. This was a Ludwig and a Lundqvist. Petro is and always has been an AHL defenseman. I don't think that's fair.
I think what do you call that? Recency bias. We're going off of one game. Petro's been pretty good. For a 5-6. He has. I mean,
you think being in the 4 spot is a little bit higher than he should be at this stage of his career?
Again, I don't want to pick on guys for one game. He's been pretty steady, but I do believe he's a 5-6-7.
Luds, Matt Dumba went unclaimed and has been reassigned to the AHL's Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. Shout out to, where was it? I just saw it in the chat and then I looked it up to double check. I want to say it was Matt that said he was in the AHL, and I can't see it now. He was in the chat letting me know that Matt Dumba did indeed clear. Oh, there was Stars fans 91-96 reassigned to the AHL. So there you go. Unclaimed. I honestly didn't expect Dumba to be claimed by anybody anyway. So we go to Talk Hockey with me. That's Jordan. She was part of the takeover last Sunday. We had a lot of fun. Heiskanen and a 99 Cup year. Can we please normalize staying for the whole game? It's embarrassing that the AAC empties out. Support the team, win or lose, go Stars.
I don't know. I get it. They want to beat the traffic.
I think if you paid your money,
or you want to get to the bar, probably.
Either way, if you paid your money, you're allowed to leave. I mean, and honestly, look.
And you're doing some other people a favor. You have to sit in your car as long.
Jordan, I understand the reason why you want to look like you're not abandoning the team late, but if it's a 4-0 game. And this team's been really, really good, right? Second best record in the NHL right now. Sometimes there's a stinker in there. And if you want to leave, fine. It's not like you're walking out of the team during the playoffs or something like that. All right? One more.
Bing bang.
Sports guy T.O., our buddy who was actually at Wild Fork Foods today in Louisville with a Heiskanen 99 Cup here. Luds, about the hats. I ordered mine on December 6th. They haven't shipped. They must be waiting on your order to ship mine. Get on it.
What day was that?
December 6th. That was a week ago.
Oh, man. See, and you said they'd be here in a week.
I said 5 to 8 days. But he said the hats are being held up because you can't place your order.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't know
what
how
he said.
that's
He said,
working.
get on it.
I'm trying. I need help.
You talked to T.O. for hours.
Hey, are we getting out of here already? What time we got?
We're done. We're done.
Well,
what do you have to say to T.O. about the hats?
T.O., I'm on it. I'll work on it. I'm here. I was with some alumni guys yesterday. I want to thank these guys for showing up.
Oh, hey.
That was we were at the Children's Hospital yesterday.
Fids, Newey, Bassin.
Yep. Keep going. Luke was there.
Is that
Turco was there?
There's Turco on the left next to you, Lukowicz, and who's by the tree?
Stu Barnes.
Oh, that's Stu. Awesome.
Yep. Bobby Bassin.
I haven't seen Stu for a while.
Yep.
Great guys, all of them. Really cool. You guys went to the Children's Hospital yesterday for a while?
Yep. Yeah. Well,
Friday?
it was going to be the guys.
Yep.
But they had a mandatory day off, so
Yep.
they rescheduled theirs, and so we went over there.
Well,
and
kudos to you guys for stepping up and filling that. That's awesome.
well, there's other things we can do after it's all over with. So
Not
everybody-
involving getting on the ice yesterday, though.
No, we did not get on the ice.
No ice yesterday. Well, Luds, you have a day off tomorrow. So do I. We're back for a LA Kings game on Monday. I had some clips that Gully talked about today that I'd love to get into, whether it's pregame show or maybe next
Wait, is there
week.
a game Monday?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're having a regular show, pre and post. We'll get it maybe. But we got a couple of great clips today of Gully talking about his philosophy about giving younger players or players that are down the lineup chances in tough spots late in games early in the season because you may need to count on them later. It's a completely different philosophy from the previous coaching staff here, or at least the head coach.
Are there chances when you're winning by a lot or losing by a lot, or in pressure situations?
Pressure situations.
Okay, good.
Let's talk about that either Monday or Tuesday next week. But thank you very much for joining us today. For Craig Ludwig,
Hot chocolate.
do you want to go with Chocolate Thunder or Big Fudge? Or are you going to Hot Chocolate now?
I'm not going to go to. I'm sticking with hot chocolate.
That's the new one. It's your version.
Oh, it
of
doesn't have to be. I mean,
I like Big Fudge, but either way, for Ryan Vaughters, I'm
hot
going
chocolate just sounds better.
You want hot chocolate? We
Big
can go hot
Fudge.
Big Fudge.
Well, wait. Who's the one that sent it in?
That was Chocolate Thunder, and that was Ryan that said it himself in the
Ryan,
chat.
you sent your own tagline in?
Well, it's because that was the Daryl Dawkins thing.
Oh,
Yep.
Lord.
Let's play a Luds song out, Ryan. I think that would be a nice. We lost 4-0. Is that what?
Wait,
you
he's
planned?
not.
Or
See,
do you
it's
have-
not in the queue right now.
No,
He's giving you the look
he's
like.
looking at- he already has it planned.
Should be the Metallica.
His blonde hair has flow, his shin pads were wide. Even Vinnie Paul would say that he's a swell guy.
We all silly like the mayor.